we have a London-based asset manager who has a view that yields will decline. So in this case, the asset values will increase, and the liability values will also increase. And as such, he wants to use interest rate swaps to immunize a portfolio of long-term debt liabilities, where the market value is £300.25 million, the modified duration is 8.2, with a basis point value of £246,205. Currently, the asset portfolio has a market value of £320.13 million and modified duration of 7.6. So the basis point value for the asset portfolio is £243,299. The asset manager has negotiated a 20-year received fixed interest rate swap with the commercial bank, where the swap will have a basis point value of 0.1228 per £100 of notional principal. So let's calculate the swap notional required in order to close the duration gap between the liability and the asset. So using the equation, we have the asset BPV, and then we'll add in the Hedge BPV, which is using the interest rate swap, and this should be equals to the liability BPV. So we know that the asset BPV is 243,299, okay, and the liability BPV is 246,205. So if we fill in the missing blank, then the Hedge BPV should be equals to 2,906. So it will be a positive increase here for the Hedge. So a positive BPV would refer to a receive fixed interest rate swap. And just to recap, for a receive fixed interest rate swap, the BPV is positive, but for a pay fixed interest rate swap, the BPV is negative. So in this case, how do we get this amount of BPV from the IRS? And we are given that for every £100 notional, the BPV is actually 0.1228. So this Hedge BPV here, we can further expand this, okay, into, so the Hedge BPV will be the swap notional multiplied by the swap BPV. So this should be equals to 2,906. So the swap notional is what we are trying to look for. Let's call it SN. And the swap BPV is 0.1228 for every £100 notional. So let's divide by 100. And now if we solve this, so the swap notional is equals to 2,906 multiplied by 100 over 0.1228. So that will be equals to, so in pounds, that will be 2,366,450 if I round it to the nearest whole number. So this is the amount of swap notional that we need. So if the fund manager wants to lower the amount of notional here, then he will have to use a longer duration swap rather than 20-year, maybe negotiate for a 30-year receive fixed interest rate swap. But bear in mind that the longer the duration of the swap, then the more sensitive the swap value will be when there are changes in the swap rates.